Have you ever wondered why two people can start in the exact same place, with the same opportunities, the same resources, and even the same goals? Yet years later, one completely transformed their life and becomes successful while the other is still stuck where they started. Here's the strange part. It usually isn't because one worked harder. It isn't because one had more motivation. The real difference is something almost nobody talks about. One person shifted his identity according to his achieved success. The other kept trying to succeed while staying the same person inside. For example, you can't be a millionaire if you still see yourself as someone who is bad with money. Being a disciplined person is impossible if your identity is telling you, I never keep my promises to myself. Success isn't only about your actions, it's about who you believe you are deep down. So by the end of this video, you'll know a simple identity shifting framework that can completely change how you make decisions, how you act, and create success. So the right actions begins to feel natural instead of forced. But before that, you have to know what identity shifting actually is. What identity shifting actually is. Let's forget all the self-help buzzwords for a moment and look at what this really means. Your identity is simply the picture you have of yourself. It's the story you believe about yourself before making almost every decision. For example, your friend comes to you and says, from next Monday I will join a public speaking course. Are you interested in joining there? Then you tell him you are a shy person and that you will not be good at public speaking, no matter how many public speaking courses you take or how hard you try. But the reality is, in history, a lot of people were once shy, but later they became great public speakers. But most of us make decisions based on our identity, not logic. Here's the cycle that's been shaping our lives. Identity, beliefs, actions, results. Which then strengthen our identity. Let's say you believe you're a lazy person. You'll assume going to the gym 5 times a week every early morning is impossible for you. Because of that, you won't join a gym. Then you wake up late in the morning as always. And that becomes more proof that you really are a lazy person. The cycle keeps repeating and gets stronger. The problem is that most people are looking at it the wrong way. They focus on changing the results fast, hoping those results will change who they are. Sometimes it works out, but it's a difficult way to create change that lasts. A smarter way is to start at the very beginning of the cycle. When you start thinking of yourself in a new way before the results show up, your beliefs slowly begin to change. Those new beliefs makes your actions feel more natural instead of forced. And because your action patterns improve, better results naturally follow. That's how the whole process works. There's nothing magical about it. Here's the hard truth. Most of us didn't create our identity. It was built over the years by our childhood experiences, the people around us, and even simple comments from them that left a lasting mark. Maybe a teacher told you lazy or bad at math, and without realizing it, you accepted that as part of who you are. In the next few minutes, you'll discover how to stop living on autopilot based on your previous experiences and start creating the person you actually want to become. The identity shifting framework. This method has 4 simple steps, and you need to follow them in order because each one gets you ready for the next. Step 1. Define your new identity. Most people choose an identity that's too general. They say things like, I want to be successful, or I want to be a confident person. Those statements sound motivating, but they don't tell your brain what exactly to do. There's no clear action plan behind them. If your identity isn't clear, your results probably won't be either. So now compare that with something much more specific. Say from now on, I'm someone who works hard, stays disciplined, and is determined to achieve my next goal and which ultimately make him successful. See the difference? That identity is easy to test. From tomorrow, at the end of the day, you can ask yourself, am I acting today according to my promise? If your goal is to become a writer, don't just say I'm a writer. Instead say, I'm someone who writes 3 hours after my breakfast. If you can't measure it, it's probably not specific enough. And that leads us to the next step. Step 2. Write a letter to your future self. This step is very important. Take a notebook or open a document and write a letter to your future self, the version of you who has already become the person you want to be. Don't write something vague like I'm successful. Be specific. Make it feel real. Feel and write. How does this future version of you speak during a conversation with others? What does their morning look like from the moment they wake up? How do they stay focused after setbacks like skipping a workout, hearing no, or getting into an argument? What standards have they raised that you haven't yet? What does their confidence actually look like? How do they act and respond in everyday situations? Feel and write as many details as possible. Write this letter every day for the first 7 days early in the morning or before going to sleep. Each day, write to the same future version of yourself. It's because repetition helps your brain become familiar with this new version of you. And the more familiar something feels, the easier it becomes to see it as part of your identity. After writing for 7 days, write the letter once a month. Keep updating it as you grow. Think of it as ongoing conversation with the person you are becoming. Every time you write, the picture becomes clearer, and that future version of you starts feeling more real. And that leads us to the next step. Step 3. Visualize, then take action right away. Now your responsibility is to visualize yourself according to the letter you have written to your future self. Every day, either before sleep at night or after waking up in the morning. You can do this through meditation or in your own way. But remember, visualization by itself isn't enough. The real power comes when you combine it with immediate action. So do this. Start talking with others the way your future version would. Listen more and talk less. Because confident and successful people listen carefully and speak with purpose. Walk the way your future version walks. Chin high, shoulders back, with confidence. Do your daily work with the same intensity and focus your future self would bring. Because focused actions create successful results. In other words, bring your future version into your present life as much as possible. When you do this consistently, your subconscious begins to adapt. Over time, your brain rewires itself and your identity shifts. Deep down, you stop pretending. You actually become the new person you have envisioned. But sometimes we digress from our path. That's why the next step. Step 4. Ask yourself 3 questions every night. Before you go to bed, ask yourself these 3 questions. Did I act like my future self today? Did I make today's decision as my future self would? Did I think, feel, and behave like my future self? This simple habit is more powerful than it looks. Why? Because this is where your new identity gets reinforced. Earlier you learned that your actions strengthen your identity. These questions make that process happen more quickly. Some nights your answers won't be great. Maybe you'll realize you slip back into old habits. That's okay. It doesn't mean you have failed. It simply reveals where you're still falling back into your old ways. Now you know exactly what to improve tomorrow. Keep doing this regularly. Eventually something amazing starts to happen. You stop reminding yourself to be this new person. Your new identity starts showing up naturally. The choices that once felt difficult begin to feel automatic. And that's when real change starts to last. But besides these, one thing worked on me like magic, and that is shifting my external world. I mean, slowly but gracefully, I avoided my friends who do not resonate with my new identity. I have changed what I consume from TV, online or offline. I changed my external environment, the part that does not resonate with my new identity. So I think you already understood why identity shift is called the success cheat code. Because we don't get what we want, we get what we are. It means when we change our identity, success comes to us effortlessly. So follow my steps intensely and don't forget to change your external environment. So let me ask you something. Leave your answer in the comments. What kind of person do you want to be? And don't forget to watch another very helpful video on the screen. The identity shift high achievers used to stay winning.